Hello, so today I'm going to tell you how to go back to your good old habits that you were doing one day and you just cannot find yourself to do them now. Before I do so, let me tell a little context to this. So, a few days back, a friend of mine, and I coach him as well a little, asked me, he told me that he was doing a lot of good habits and he was doing great and he was doing them every day, and yeah, he was doing great, but then he said that I'm doing so great, I might as well just go and watch TV, and I might as well just go on my phone and do all these bad unproductive things. And then he over time stopped completely doing the good things. So if you ever find yourself in this situation that you were doing a good habit and then you just started doing bad habits, and now you can't do the good habits because of the bad habits, and they are just way more interesting and dopaminergic than the good ones, then this is what you should do. So set small goals. Let me tell you what I mean. Let's say you were studying a lot, like for 10 hours every single day. Maybe you have these big tests coming up and you have to study for them. And you were studying for 10 hours a day, but now you started watching this new TV show, and well, you only want to watch the TV show for 10 hours a day. You don't want to study because that's more interesting, right? So, if you don't set a big goal that tomorrow I'm not gonna watch the TV show, I'm gonna study for 10 hours instead, well, you're probably not gonna stick to that goal. That's just how it works. So, what you need to do is set small goals. You set the goal that tomorrow I'm just gonna study one chapter, and then I'm free to do what I want. So maybe when tomorrow comes around and you actually sit down and study, you finish that one chapter, you can go back to watch that TV show, but again, your brain might tell you that, oh, isn't it stupid that we go back to watch the TV show when we are already set, we are already in this zone, and we are already started. Then why don't we do another chapter? And then you might do another chapter, but the goal is set for the is done for the day. You might go back to do what you want. Another example might be, I read about this in this book called Atomic Habits as well. It's a really good book. What they did is, I'm not exactly sure how it was like how it was written about this in this book, but a lot of people wanted to get fit, but they just couldn't get themselves to go into the gym. But I think this works the same if you were already going a few pretty consistent, and then you stopped because you just don't feel like going anymore or something, but you want to go back. So they told the people that they only have to go and do one set, or they only have to go and do the workout for 1 or 2 minutes. They had to go to the gym, they had to change clothes, they had to find the bench press or any exercise that they did. They did one set and they were free to go home. They didn't have to go and do the whole 1 hour workout. They were only they only had to do one set. And you might try the same. So if you want to go to the gym and you want to be consistent again, well, you tell yourself to not do the whole 2 hour very intense workout again, but you tell yourself to only go and do one set. Go you go and make some time of your day to actually go there. You go there, you change clothes, then you find your equipment, you do the one set, and then your brain will tell you that, oh, like, we did all this just to do one set and then go home. And then you might find yourself to do the whole workout after that. But again, the goal is done for the day, so you are clear to go home, but your brain might tell you that it's a little stupid. And that's good if it tells you, because you will actually be motivated to stay and do the whole workout. So the next day comes around and you set this small goal again that, oh, like let's say with studying, I'm only gonna study one chapter today again, and then I'm free to do what I want to. So you study that one chapter, go do what you want, and then the next day you might say like, oh, like today's goal is not to study one chapter but two. Today I'm gonna study 2 chapters. So you go and study 2 chapters and might maybe go back to your thing, but let's say today your brain tells you to actually do some more work and you will be very motivated, so you study for an hour and you study 5 chapters. Great. Then the next day maybe comes and you say, oh, like today I'm gonna study 3 chapters. And then you go and study those 3 chapters, and then you go and watch TV for the rest of the day. And then you set, what's the word for this? And then you like make these goals a little bigger every single day. And not bigger in a sense that, oh, like yesterday I studied 1 chapter, tomorrow I'm gonna study 12. No, you increase it by like 1 or just a little bit. And then after some time you will go back and to your like old threshold, and maybe you were studying for those 10 hours, and after some time like you're gonna find yourself to study for 10 hours again. And this is how it worked with meditation with a lot of people, for example with me as well, because I could only meditate for around 3 minutes a day, then I was done and then I was done. So I didn't set a goal to meditate for an hour. No, I set a goal to meditate for 3 minutes, and then after some time I increased it to 5, and then after some time I increased it to 10, and then to 15. And then, like maybe I got really sick and I couldn't meditate for 15 minutes. So I stopped meditating, and yeah, I didn't meditate for like half a year. But then I was like, oh, like I really want to go back to meditating again. So I didn't start to meditate for 50 minutes again, because that was a little bit too high for me. So I started lower. I started with 5 minutes. And then I worked back to those 15 minutes again. But this time it's easier when you already did the thing, it's easier to go back to it. For example, with the gym as well. Maybe you were doing bench press 60 kg and then you got sick. Of course you're not gonna do 60 kg again, because that was the maximum you could do, that was your PR. But now you got sick, you skipped like a week, you're gonna be a little weaker, so you're gonna do 40 kg. You're gonna do 40 kg now, and then you do the 40 kg bench press, and the next week it's a bit easier to increase it to like 45. All right, you're feeling good. The next week you're gonna increase it to 50, and then you're gonna find yourself to be doing 60 in less than a month. So that is how you actually like go and do the all things that were once that are hard now. That is how you go and do them again. And that is how you start doing new things as well. You don't set a goal that you're gonna that you had never been to the gym, and you don't set a goal that, oh, I'm gonna start and I'm gonna do the 100 kg bench press right away. No, maybe you are a little skinny and you don't really have much power, so you start out with an empty barbell, and then after some time, maybe it will take you a year, 2 years, maybe 5 years, but after some time you're gonna get there. What you can do as well is limit the bad habits that you are doing. Like in the first example, if you were studying a lot, but you started watching this TV show and you can't go back to studying, what you can do, and what is the most logical, is that, oh, like, you should just stop watching that TV show. It might be hard, but you might actually just like limit and not just stop right away. You might actually start with just limiting that. Instead of watching the TV for 10 hours today, I'm gonna watch it for 8. And then you stop watching the TV show and you will have more time on your hands, and the time, like, you won't be doing anything less like new age, like dopaminergic and really fun. The only fun thing you will have is studying. So you will go and study. And then you might just like limit the TV completely and go and study for the whole day instead. Now, it doesn't have to be like this extreme, like in this extreme example, but it can be something as simple as, like, maybe you were reading for an hour a day, but you actually started scrolling on TikTok or Instagram Reels, for example, and you find that that's more fun than reading for 1 hour. So what you can do is limit that again, like you won't scroll for an hour, you will scroll for 30 minutes and then you go to study. But what I did, for example, is I recognized this and I instantly uninstalled the app. With like TikTok, like I was scrolling for like 3 hours a day, like 2 years ago. And then I realized that, oh, I'm wasting these 3 hours every day that I could be doing something productive. And so I uninstalled it. And like, I didn't regret it for even a second. Because when you don't have these like dopaminergic things, any dopaminergic things to do, like what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna sit on your bed and look at the wall? Well, probably not, because that's even less dopaminergic than studying. So you go back to studying, for example, or you go back to reading. So that is another thing how you can go back to doing the good habits again and stop the bad ones. But it can be done via the first way as well. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this type of content, then subscribe to the channel and see you in the next video. Goodbye.